Hi children, good morning. This is your social science class. Today let us see about history lesson number 3, the Delhi Sultanate 1206 to 1526. We are going to see about later medieval period in this lesson. In the last lesson we saw about early medieval period, right? This lesson we are going to see about later medieval period. 5 dynasties ruled during this later medieval period. Those are the Slave Dynasty, the Khilji Dynasty, the Tughlaq Dynasty, the Sayyid Dynasty, and the Lodi Dynasty. Okay, totally there are 5 dynasties. This period is known as the medieval period of Indian history, children. Then let us see about the sources for the Sultanate period. Inscriptions, coins and monuments. These archaeological sources provide a lot of information about the Sultanate period. Literary sources like court chronicles, okay, and then the travelogies, the traveler accounts, okay. It also gave so many information about the Sultanate period. And then the travelers like Ziauddin Barani, Shama Siraj Aif, Minhaj Shiraj, Ibn Battuta, and Marco Polo. These people they visited our country during this later medieval period. Okay, and then Persian records of this age also very important, children. And then valuables are the histories, we know that way. Tariq or Tawarik. Tariq means singular, Tawarik means plural. These are the historical records written in Persian. Written in which language? Written in Persian language. Next, let us step into the topic, the slave dynasty. The ruler of the slave dynasties, these rulers were slaves or Mamluk sultans. Mamluk means owned in Arabic. Okay, the sultans, the early sultans of this slave dynasty were slaves only. Because of their intelligence and their hard work, they came to power. Okay, and these sultans they were educated, they were expert in wars and control of armies and in politics. Next, let us move to the topic Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak, he was the slave of Muhammad Ghori. In last lesson, we saw about this one, isn't it? When Muhammad Ghori returning to his home, he was killed. He was killed. Okay, so automatically his kingdom came in the hands of Qutbuddin Aibak. Then Qutbuddin Aibak he captured Delhi and he captured the famous Qila Rai Pitora, the beautiful fort. Okay, this was the Sultan's home. Qutbuddin became the founder of the slave dynasty. Who was the founder of the slave dynasty? Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, another name for slave dynasty, Mamluk dynasty. Then this Qutbuddin, he was very generous. He was honored with the title of Laksh Baksha, Lakh Baksha, because he was the giver of lakh. Then Qutbuddin was succeeded by Iltutmish. Okay, this Iltutmish he faced many problems because he crushed revolts. He protected and strengthened the boundaries. So that's why he faced so many problems. Okay, he sent expeditions against the rebels, Rajputs. Who were the rebels? Rebels of Rajputs at Gwalior, Ranthambore, Bayana, and Jalore. Gwalior, it is in Madhya Pradesh. Ranthambore, it is in Rajasthan. Bayana, also in Rajasthan. Jalore, also in Rajasthan. The rulers of Ujjain and Ranthambore were defeated by this Iltutmish. Okay, and he also recovered Gwalior and Bayana from these rulers. Iltutmish he had many sons, but he did not consider any of them. He made his daughter Razia as the Sultan of Delhi. She was popularly known as Russia Sultan in the medieval history. She was the first and last female Sultan. Russia's rule was short and full of problems because the nobles hated Russia. Okay, the 40 nobles, we need to know about the 40 nobles. Chahal Ghani, they did not tolerate the rule of Razia because Razia was a women nose, that's why. So these 40 nobles, they conspired means secretly they planned against Russia. Then they killed Razia in a battle outside of Delhi. Razia, she died like a brave soldier. Okay, she lies in the grave at Turkman Gate in Delhi. This Chahalgani system was introduced by Iltutmish only. But these 40 nobles, they worked against his daughter itself. They killed Razia. Okay, these people, they advised the sultans at the needy time. But after the death of Iltutmish, what happened? This group, they had great power in its hand and they killed Razia. After the death of Razia, they made Nasiruddin Muhammad, another son of Iltutmish, as the king. With the support of the nobles, he worked, but he was not capable. Okay, and he was a mere puppet in the hand of the 40 nobles. Okay, at the time of the rule of Nasiruddin Muhammad, Balban, he controlled the administration and he opposed the 40 nobles. Who opposed the 40 nobles? Balban. So, see this picture, children. After Qutbuddin Aibak, Shashuddin Iltutmish, okay, he ruled. Then, after his rule, he was succeeded by his daughter Razia Sultan, the first and last female sultan. Then, after Razia Sultan's death, her brother Nasiruddin Muhammad, he ruled. After his rule, Balban itself, he controlled the rule of Nasiruddin. Okay, he also opposite. Who opposite? This Balban. He opposed whom? He opposed the 40 nobles. Ghiyasuddin Balban, he came to power in the year 1266. He was a noble and he proved to be the most powerful ruler of the Slave Dynasty. Okay, Balban, he reorganized and strengthened the army. He conducted so many campaigns against to control the Mongol raids. Okay, and Balban, he wanted the people to respect the Sultan in a high manner. Okay, so that's why he introduced some Persian customs of sijda and paibos. Sijda means bending in front of the king. Paibos means kissing the feet of the king. According to common people, these customs were for God only, and that's why the people consider these customs were un-Islamic. After the death of Balban, the Turkish rule had been established in Delhi, the Ganga, Yamuna, Doba, and in eastern Rajasthan. Okay, Balban's successors were weak, so that's why at this time the Khalji nobles captured the throne of Delhi in the year 1290. The Khilji rulers ruled for 3 decades and they were very good administrators and they expanded the field of economics and market control policies. First, let us see about Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji. Okay, this Jalaluddin, he was not a strong ruler, but he was tolerant and avoided harsh punishment. He avoided harsh punishment. He had a mercy policy children towards the Mongols. He made his daughter marry to a Mongol leader, Ulugh Khan. Okay, at the time of his rule, the nobles enjoyed a powerful rule. They did a conspiracy against him, a secret plan against Jalaluddin, and they killed him. The nobles killed Jalaluddin. After the death of Jalaluddin, Ali Gurshab succeeded him. This Ali Gurshab, known as what? Alauddin Khilji. He was the most powerful ruler of the slave dynasty. Okay, he was the first Turkish sultan, and he extended the boundaries of Delhi Sultanate beyond the Vindhyas range up to the Deccan. And then he is famous in the history for his Deccan policy. Then he was a brilliant general and he was a capable administrator. He was a literate, and then he showed a great interest in art and literature. Okay, and in his court there were many great poets and scholars. The greatest people like Amir Kusharu and Sheikh Ruguddin, these people are also in his court. Then let us move to the topic expansion of the empire. Okay, Alauddin, he planned and executed in a perfect way. Okay, in the west, Alauddin, he conquered Gujarat and Malwa. Malwa means parts of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, and this gave him control over the western seaports also. He conquered Ranthambore, Chittor and Jalore in Rajasthan between the years 1301 to 1303. He captured the forts of Rajputs too. Then he launched his famous campaign in the Deccan. Okay, and no other sultans, they did not cross Vindhya mountain, but he crossed Vidya mountain too. Okay, and he chose his famous general Malik Kapoor, who was a slave. He was captured from Gujarat. Okay, Malik Kapoor, he defeated the Yadavas of Devagiri and Kakatiyas of Warangal. Then in the year 1310, he also defeated the Holy Salas and the Pandyas. So Malik Kapoor helped Alauddin Khilji a lot. Alauddin Khilji, he welcomed Malik Kapoor at the Hall of Thousand Pillars, which is at Sri Fort in Delhi. Okay, when he returned from the Deccan with 612 elephants, 20,000 horses, a large amount of gold, and chest of jewels. The defeated kings were allowed to continue as rulers, but they had to pay Alauddin Khilji. Okay, and Alauddin Khilji had a well equipped, trained, disciplined, and motivated army. Alauddin Khilji, he paid more and more to his horsemen and then to the military people. Okay, and salary of each horseman was fixed at 234 tankas a year. And then if the horseman contributed their own two horses, used to get 70 tankas in addition with the original pay. Okay, and the sultan paid handsome and regularly to the soldiers. A full detail of each soldiers was also maintained. This was called chehra. Okay, chehra. Then let us move to see about economic measures of Alauddin Khilji. This Mongol inventions and internal revolts increase the cost of maintaining large army. We know that one. So that's why already we know that Alauddin Khilji, he paid a lot to the soldiers. Then Alauddin Khilji, he gave orders to measure all the land which was under cultivation. This land was divided and land revenue were fixed. Then he increased the taxes on the farmers of the Doab, the fertile land between Ganga and river Yamuna. Okay, and so many officers were used to saw those things. Then Alauddin Khilji, he fixed prices for articles of food and enforced them. Okay. Then he controlled everything. He built vast stores of grains in Delhi. In that market, everything is available from fresh fruits to horses and then slaves, caps, combs, all the things are available in the market. This is known as his market control policy. Okay, and then he introduced a rationing system also. At the time of scarcity, the Delhi people they got all the needy things at the time. Okay, so from this we consider that he was a very good administrator. From this we come to know that a sultan was not only a military genius, he also had to be a efficient administrator. Okay, Kusharu Malik, he was the last Khilji ruler, and then Ghiyasuddin, he defeated Kusharu Malik and he started the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, children, that's all for today's class. What we have seen today? Yes, today we have seen about sources of the Sultanate period. Then we saw about the Slave Dynasty. We saw about Qutbuddin Aibak. Then Razia Sultan, Ghiyasuddin Balban we saw. Then we saw about the Khilji Dynasty. Then we saw about the rule of Alauddin Khilji. Okay, just take a book and read these topic, children. Thank you, children. Be safe at home.